Hi, this is Mama Tree here, and this morning I drew a map based on something I read on Instagram yesterday. Matthew Remski of the Conspirituality podcast page had posted a note with a video of J.P. Sears, who's a popular New Age influencer and comedian. And Matthew Remski made the comment that JP was caught in a loop that could really only end with a catastrophic shame spiral or some form of regulatory pressure. I understood this in a systems way, and so I've applied some of my insights as well as the nomenclature of systems thinking. So I'm just going to show you a quick little sketch. I think it begins with the story of reinforced reality generation. A character like an influencer on the internet has often got a story of manifesting personal abundance. They have leveraged some form of privilege, attention, money, charisma, and have packaged themselves in a way that demonstrates that they can create an abundant reality for themselves. And if they're doing this in the public eye on social media, that often leads to their ability to influence the beliefs and behaviors of others. This is a reinforcing loop that's just going to keep going. The more a JP manifests personal abundance, the more influence they have over the beliefs and behaviors of others who would also like to manifest personal influence and have increases in their money, attention, charisma, and privilege. So this here is a behavior over time graph, and the individual's level of ego or the size of their persona and their confidence is going up over time. And there's a cat casting a shadow. Thank you, sweetie. So this is just going to go and just drive the ego and the confidence and the abundance and all those measures up unless it hits some kind of threshold. Now, at the same time, I've been working on, let me move this, some adjacent loops. So, at some point in this spiritual journey, in this reinforcing loop of reinforced reality generation, a JP's reality is going to bump into some cognitive dissonance. And a lot of the New Age dogma involves espousing kind of, kitty, you gotta move. Espousing blind faith and bypassing anything that might give us cognitive dissonance. For instance, getting a disease while you're doing yoga and eating kale and living your best and highest self. We get situations where people are using spiritual bypassing and ableism, both internal and against others. So this kind of adds to the speed. We have this is flowing this way, and there's a reinforced need for the individual to dissociate. So we've bypassed so many parts of our shadow self and locked into being a persona, an influencer, that we get over here to this loop, reinforced bypassing and dissociation. This is going to happen at the personal level and at the collective level. So individuals are taking these meme-sized advice pills, and that's reinforcing their dissociative tendencies. And so we get a reinforcing loop where there's just greater and greater levels of personal and collective dissociation. And all of these smaller loops are spinning and adding to the momentum of that original behavior over time graph. And then Matthew Remski yesterday, I'm going to adjust that, zoom out a little. Yesterday, Remski pointed out that there was really only two ends, a catastrophic shame spiral or some type of regulatory pressure. That demonstrates and really all of the language that I've come across in the Conspirituality podcasts reflects a deep natural tendency towards systems thinking. So, yes, a JP is caught in a loop, and the only end is what happens when we hit some kind of threshold. So these are dotted lines. This dotted line represents his growth in ego, persona, and confidence would crash if there was the event of an incontrovertible crisis. For instance, I recall there was a death in a sweat lodge outside of Sedona in around 2005. And that individual who had been hosting the sweat lodges received punishment and got sent into a blame and shame loop. This is a vicious downward spiral. It's kind of like being flushed, just completely off the map. Of course, this individual is somewhere, and I wish them well. But also over here, there's another possibility of how this rampant growth curve could be arrested through the application of a balancing loop or a set of balancing loops that right now we're just referring to regulatory pressure. And I'm not into writing internet management policy, so I'm not going to throw one out here. Other people are working on that. But you see, this dotted line kind of oscillates between going out of bounds and back in bounds around this threshold. It is possible that regulatory pressure could afford influencers the opportunity to save face and maintain some kind of market share before there's a catastrophic shame spiral. So right now we see three possibilities: just rampant, continued, unfettered growth of ego and influence, crashing in a catastrophic shame spiral, or being governed in some way that allows saving face and maintaining a market share. So this is a draft. There's always more things connecting in, more things connected out, and certainly this can be changed. I just thought that it was a very quick way to illustrate the nomenclature of systems thinking. So thanks for watching, and take care.